Hey, how are you? I am Allison, Sunshine Girls Painting.
And I am Tone, the Sun and Sunshine Girls.
Painting. He is.
Well, I'm not the Sun and Sunshine Girls painting. I'm just the Sun and Sunshine.
Sunshine. But if you're going to say the girls, you got to say the painting. That is, turn the volume. But just make sure it's working all the time. Otherwise, we got cut off. Okay. So clearly he's new at this and he doesn't realize we have to monitor Facebook to make sure that Facebook is letting us continue our life. Anyway, shake your booty. Shake, shake, shake. He was singing it earlier. He's not going to do it now because he's a spoil sport.
Shake, shake, shake.
That's so not quite right. Anyway, what we want to talk to you about today are shakes. You know the shakes that go up in the gable end of houses, and sometimes they'll go in on posts and stuff as well. But
whole houses are done in shakes too.
Whole houses are done. Sometimes roofs are done, but we call them. Are they still a shake if they're
still a shake?
They don't become a cedar shingle. Maybe that's a whole other show. The difference between a shake and a shingle. Shingles on your roof. Shakes are on the body of your house. So the shakes are overlapping and they're wood, and so there is a few things that you can do with those from the onset. So you get brand new shakes, and you can either put a clear coat on them, so they look exactly the way they look, but they're protected. Mm-hmm. And it stops them from going black, because cedar will blacken over time and gets that silvery look, which some people really love and some people don't. If you want it to look like that fresh wood look, then you're going to want to put a clear coat on it. Another option?
But just make sure you're paying attention to the clear coats you're getting, because a lot of clear coats out there will amber over time. So what that means is that there's a little bit of a yellow pigment in the shakes. So when you put them on, it'll eventually change the color of your shakes. There are a couple true clears out there where they are clear. You never have to worry about them ambering, any of that stuff. So clear coats aren't always necessarily clear.
Got it. So just make sure you know what's happening. Talk to your paint rep. Give us a shout. We can give you input as well. Clearly, Tone knows about amber. Anyway, actually, we know a woman amber too, so that's a little bit weird because it's not his girlfriend.
That's right.
Anyway, so that's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do is put a semi-transparent on. And so that is a see-through paint, essentially. And you can get it at different colors. You can get them with more of a whitewash, or you can get like chestnut or cedar.
Yeah, then there'll be different depths depending on your color of how much of the wood the wood look will actually push through. And when I say that, I mean like the actual coloring of the wood itself. So
the darker your semi-trans, the more solid the less variation you're going to see in your grain. It's just going to darken up everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can also put on a solid stain.
Option number 3.
Yeah. Put on a solid stain, which is a penetrating. It's a little different than paint. It penetrates the wood, still allowing you to see all of your wood grain and textures and stuff, which is why people get the shakes. The difference between a solid and a semi-trans or a clear coat is that your solid is going to hold up over time a lot longer and give you more of a unified look.
Right. So your semi-trans can look a little patchy because each shake will take a different amount of the tint in or hold the paint differently because the soft grain and hard grain is going to be different. So you could paint 2 shakes semi-trans and they look completely different. Solid color will allow it to look more uniform. It'll just look like the side of your house. Solid paint, like you would expect paint to look, or a solid stain. And yes, you will see the grain. When you run your hands over it, you're going to feel a bumpy surface. That is because paint does not make everything perfectly smooth. Paint gives you what you've got, just puts a different color on it.
Just makeup.
It's like makeup. I don't look any different. I just look a little bit spruced up when I'm wearing it, but I don't turn into a supermodel. Anyway, so.
Neither do I. Makeup doesn't work well on me.
No, I've done his Halloween before. And so if you have shakes that are now you've inherited them or you built and you did them yourself and you forgot to take care of them, remember what we always say, put your house on a schedule, make a date with your house. Every year, date your house and really, really look at your house, because what can happen with shakes is the moisture at the bottom can start to creep up the shakes, and then you end up with all these black wavy lines. And once they're there, good luck getting rid of them.
Yeah.
Unless you want to spend an awful lot of money trying to get wood brighteners and stuff. And they work a little bit, but you're still, when I talk to people about shakes, I just try to manage expectation and expect you're probably not going to get what you want, even from new. And the other thing that can happen too is if you've got a gable end, the peak at the end of the edge of the house, and part of it stays in shade a lot because of the soffit, that overhang, and part of it gets a lot of sun. Those ones in the center are going to fade out like crazy, and the ones closer to the soffit are going to hold their color more and look more true to new. So once that happens, it is really difficult to get that center bit that's faded to dark enough or semi-transed enough to match the rest. At that point, you're almost looking at getting a solid stain.
Yeah, the effect's called burning, and what that happens is it actually is damaging your wood. So it's not only just looking like a different color, it is actually eating away at all the soft grain, which eventually will just break your shakes down and having to force you to replace them.
Mm-hmm.
So as pretty as semi or clear coats are on cedar shakes, it is generally a 2-year schedule depending on the product that you use, because the wood, especially here on the island, when we have so much salt and moisture in our air, and then that sun beats down, like the weather we just had, like for 2 weeks, it was really hot, really, really dry, and just it wreaks havoc on the woods that have a bunch of salt and moisture sitting in them. So you really have to make sure that you pay attention to that. Like Mom said, make sure you date your house, because you'll be able to see that and stay on top of it. As pretty as it is, and it's such a West Coast look.
But we have clients, and every 2 years we put a clear coat on their wood, whether it looks like it needs it or not. So there are ways of keeping that wood if you're willing to spend the money. But if you're not willing to spend the money, then switch to a solid color, or just live with watching your shakes deteriorate. That's a choice as well.
And then having to reside them.
Yeah. So then the other thing, once you've inherited these shakes and they've got, say, a coat of cedar sickens.
Sure.
Right? So it's a cedar color. We've all seen it. It's that rich woody look. And so you have your new shakes here, nothing on them. Then you put your 2 coats of semi-trans on it and make them look cedar. And then the wind breaks it down, and some of them sort of break down all the way. Some of them break down a little bit. Some don't break down at all. When you put another coat of semi-trans cedar on top of it, it does this. It doesn't take those lighter colors and level them out, right? And like we might want them to. It makes everything darker. So the stuff that is solid looks darker. The stuff that's in the middle looks darker. The stuff that was light looks darker, but those darkers do not become the same. I hope that makes sense. So when you move all of it, right? And sometimes people think that if I just put another coat of clear on it, or a semi-trans, it's going to make it all look like it did when it was new, and that's just not the case. The other thing too is if you have inherited cedar sickens on your shakes and you want them darker and you want them to be more of a chestnut, no. If you want them to, if they're cedar and you want them to look more solid, but they're still in really good shape, that cedar won't make it look like the cedar you think it's going to make. It's also going to make it look darker, because you have to remember you already have color on those shakes. So whenever you have color, that color is just going to go deeper and deeper and deeper. So if you want them to look cedar, drop it down a semi-trans and put a lighter product on. That will bring it up, right? Because it's a buildup of color. And eventually that tint just builds up until you look like you need a paint job.
The other thing too is when you're painting shakes, because there are particular products out there that don't allow you to paint over it with a different product, you could potentially be running yourselves into a bit of a pickle if you put the wrong product over. Now you're going to have to deal with flaking and all this other kind of stuff and rejection. So really got to make sure that you are being aware of as best you can sometimes. And if they're really aged, you inherited it like Mom was saying, and they're really aged, chances are you don't have to worry about it. You can put pretty much anything on it, because by that time the weather has just beat it up so bad.
So sort of some of the popular ones is Sickens is sort of everybody's go-to. It's an expensive product and it's kind of a complicated product. So just know what it is. It's not just as easy as going to the store and getting it. So you have like a Cetol 1 and then you have a Cetol 2-3. And a 2-3 can go over a 1, but a 1 can't go over a 2-3. You also have a siding one, which
Not anymore.
They don't have a siding
they
one.
got
See
rid of
how it gets confusing all the time.
No, they got rid of it.
Yeah, and then Cloverdale has a Sunfast, and it was made to emulate the Sickens. So that is a sort of a cheaper option for it, and there's less complications in it.
Yeah.
But it can only go over Sickens or itself. You don't want to put another product over top of it that's not designed to go over top of it.
And there's a latex and an oil version of that. So again, you're running into the whole issues of can my oil or my latex go over what it's going over? So really making sure you pay attention.
Yeah. And it's a little bit more complicated than that rule of latex can't go over oil because you're dealing with a specialty product. And whenever you're dealing with a specialty product, it becomes... you need specialty solutions.
It's got its own set of rules.
Yeah. So Sherwin-Williams has Helmsman, which is a really great product. It's a clear coat. Can you tint it?
It's a true. You can tint it. Most people don't. Sherwin-Williams has a different product that you can tint, but Helmsman is one of 2 true clear coats. So it doesn't have any yellowing or ambering in it.
Back to amber again.
I know. I can't help it.
I'm going to have a daughter-in-law amber one day, maybe. Is that a sign of this? No? Okay, carrying on.
Back to painting. They have Helmsman, which is a true clear. And it is designed to be able to go over any kind of oil-based products that may have been on previously. And it also has some of your best longevity for a clear coat. So most clear coats, you're looking at 1 to 2 years to recoating. This can be 3 to 4 years on a recoat. Probably still good to try and look at it for 2 to 3 years, just so you don't run into that issue of it breaking down.
But it also can't go over latex, right?
It cannot.
Yeah, so that's why when you put something on your house, when you buy a house from somebody and it has shakes, if you do nothing else, find out what product was being used. Just because fixing a problem is so much harder than getting the information sometimes and just knowing what it is that's happening. And there's even been time that people have put gasoline on shakes to I don't know, is it gasoline that they used to put in the old days?
I'm not that old.
Yeah, I remember a guy doing it, and I forget what, some sort of, anyway, I thought it was gasoline. It wouldn't be, because it'd probably catch on fire. And that would be kind of bad for your house insurance. So don't do it. I don't recommend it. What did he use? It's the same stuff they put on garden ties or railroad ties.
Like diesel?
Maybe
or
that
kerosene?
was it. Kerosene, maybe. Right? And so if you're getting those kinds of things, that creates a whole other can of worms. So when you think about the range of things that you can put on your shakes, it's just best to have as much information as possible.
Yeah.
And it just will save you heartache and money because it can get expensive.
It can be. And always go, if you're going to be going in to get somebody else to like information from a paint store, really make sure that they're giving you the proper and all of the information. Because a lot of times, like if you go to Home Depot or whatever, they may not know that you can't put Varathane over top of a Sickens product because it's not designed to do that. They might not know that. They might just be like, oh yeah, I can go over top of anything. But really make sure you do your research because you can create quite a headache.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. And it's not like I think people don't intentionally give wrong information. It's just some people have been educated better than others. And I think when people give you input in some of these places, they are probably trying to give you the best information they can. They just don't know enough to know that they might be giving you wrong information.
Correct.
So make sure you do your homework. Check in with a few really reputable sources. Always a great idea if you're at a paint store, ask to talk to the actual paint rep. That's their job, is to know this stuff. And again, they're not all created equal, so make sure you get a good one.
And like, I mean, even with all the information that we know about paint, I still refer to my paint rep all the time because that's what he lives, eats, breathes, and sleeps.
Yeah.
I put it on. He knows the information.
Yeah.
So really, even professionals ask for help. So it's not a bad thing to ask for help.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I think he's saying he needs professional help.
Probably.
I've
I've had her as a mom.
Oh, there's a comment here from Tammy. That's my son's aunt. I guess it's my ex-sister-in-law, but I wasn't married to her brother, so I don't know what that makes us anyway. We're family of some way,
Quasi sister-in-law.
That's right. And we wish we were there to have helped you paint. Yeah. However, you're in Ontario, so that's not a quick little jaunt.
No, it's not just a hop over the
That's right. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys are all staying safe and healthy and happy. I am Allison.
I'm Tone.
And open up your house.
And let the sunshine in.